Hello everyone. So as you know, we have completed revision of chapter number 1 and 2. In chapter number 1, you learned about the location of India. In this chapter, you learned that India is a part of Asia continent. India is the southernmost part of Asia continent, and you learned in the first chapter that India has different type. India is a land of diversity, and it has also different type of physical division. The first physical division of India is the Great Northern Mountain, which you have learnt in your chapter number 2. Okay, so now we will read about the second important physical division of India, which is called the Great Northern Plains, which has the largest fertile delta region in the world, which is called Sundarban Delta. Okay, so we will do the revision of chapter 3 in this lecture, the Great Northern Plains. So what did you learn in this chapter? See, here are the key notes. We will read it later. Firstly, we will see we will read about the Great Northern Plains of India. We will see the location of this second important physical division of India. So see here in this map. See, just a minute, beta. See, you have learned this brown, all the brown parts comes in the first physical division of India, which is called the Great Northern Mountains. Okay, it is a part of Himalayan range. Himalayan mountains are stretches in many countries. Okay, and some part of Himalayas are also in our country. Most of Himalayan parts in the north. Okay, so that is why it is called the Great Northern Mountains region of India. But some part also are in the eastern part. Okay, so now we will read about the second largest delta region of it is also the delta region, and it is the northern plains. So see, where are the northern plains? See, it is in the south of the Himalayan range. Northern plains lies to the south of the Himalayan range. It means northern plains are lies in the bottom of the foothill of Himalayas. We can say that foothill of Himalayas, and in the last of Himalaya. Okay, in the downside of Himalaya. So what is the location of the northern mountain? Northern plains. Northern plains are located to the south of the Great Northern Mountain. Okay, see, this all part comes in the Great Northern Plains. Also these some parts, see again, see, this all part come in our plain region, the Great Northern Plains. So now, how are our northern plains? What did you learn in this chapter? That it is very fertile. Many river comes in Ganga basin, or also the three basins. Northern plains. In the northern plains, three rivers are flowing. First is the Satluj river, and that area is known as the Satluj basin, and the second is the Ganga river, and the area where Ganga flows known as the Ganga basins, and the third is Brahmaputra, and those area where the Brahmaputra river flow known as the Brahmaputra basin. In this chapter you learned that about the three. You learned about the three basins. So what do you mean by the basins? Basins means an area where river flows known as the basin. Okay, so the northern plains having three basins. First is called the Satluj basin, second is the Ganga basin, and third is the Brahmaputra basin. And in this chapter you also learned that the Brahmaputra river you learned that Ganga river originate from the Gangotri glacier. You have already learned about this topic in your previous lecture. See, Ganga river originate from here, Gangotri glacier. Okay, and comes here and it's meet to Arabian Sea. This is Ganga. G for Ganga. I'm writing with another color. You can able to see. Okay, and see Satluj river. Satluj river, Satluj basin, Indus river originate from the outside of India, from the Mansarovar lake, and then enter in India, and its flow in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab, and after then it's meet with Indus river, Satluj river meet to Indus river in Pakistan. Okay, and in this chapter you learn that Brahmaputra river, which is known as the Sangpo, this is Satluj basin. Okay, see, this is Satluj basin and this is Ganga basin. Okay, and you learned that Brahmaputra river known as the Sangpo, when it's the Brahmaputra river originate from the Mansarovar lake in Tibet. See, Brahmaputra river originate from the Mansarovar lake in Tibet. Okay, and it enter in India from the Arunachal Pradesh, and when it is known as the Sangpo outside of India, but when it enters in India, it's known as the Brahmaputra river, and the area where Brahmaputra river flows, see here, from here it's, you can see clearly beta, see, from here this blue line is showing you the basin of Brahmaputra. Okay, this is the basin of Brahmaputra. You can clearly see here. See, this is Brahmaputra basin. Okay, and this is Ganga basin. Okay, and this is Satluj basin. Okay, so Northern Plains comes in three basins: Satluj basins, Ganga basins, and Brahmaputra basins. Okay, so how is our Northern Plain? Northern Plains are very fertile. Okay, you are clear about the location of the Northern Plains and the basins which are flowing here, the rivers which are flowing here. Okay, so now we will read about the quick review. Okay, and after then we will also read the keynotes which is given in your revision sheet. So let's start. The Northern Mountains are one. See, we will read about the Northern Plains. See, we will read the key points. Northern Plains. The second important physical division of India is Northern Plains. In this chapter you learned this is the second important physical division of India. Okay, and three important rivers flow through the Northern Plains which I told you. First is the Satluj river, second is the Ganga river, and third is Brahmaputra river. And I told you in your previous lecture that Brahmaputra river and Satluj river are trans-Himalayan rivers. Okay, because these rivers are originate from the outside of India, and then they enter in India. Okay, now the area through which they flow is called a basin. The area through which they is used for the rivers. Okay, all three rivers flow is called a basin. Okay, what do you mean by the basin? I told you, an area where any river flow is called the basin of that particular river. If the Ganga river is flowing in any area, that area is called the Ganga basin. If the Brahmaputra river flow in any area, it's called the Brahmaputra river. Okay, name may be varied. Okay, now the Northern Plains are divided. You learn in this chapter that our Northern Plains are divided into three basins according to the rivers which are flowing in this region. First is called the Satluj basin. Satluj basin is the area where the Satluj river flow. Okay, and the Ganga basin is that area where the Ganga river flows. Okay, and the Brahmaputra basin is the area where the Brahmaputra river flows. Okay, now the river Satluj and its tributary, the river Bees, flows across Punjab and then join the river Indus in Pakistan. Okay, first basin is Satluj, where the Satluj river is flowing. Okay, and this river and its tributary, the river Bees, flow across Punjab. Okay, and then join the river Indus in Pakistan. And this here is the Ganga river originates from the Gangotri glacier, which I told you in the map. Okay, and in the glacier in the Himalayas and flows across the northern plains. Okay, and Ganga river make the world largest delta in northern plains before meeting or joining the the Bay of Bengal in the east side. Okay, and see, these are the tributary rivers: the Yamuna, the Kosi, the Gandak, the Ghagra, Gomti, Som, the Chambal, okay, and Damodar. These are the tributary rivers of Ganga. Okay, tributary rivers means a river uh, which increase the volume of the main river known as the tributary river. Okay, now see what are the points given here. The Brahmaputra basins. Now we will read about the Brahmaputra basin. The river Brahmaputra rivers rises in Tibet, where it is known as the Sangpo. It rises in Tibet from the Mansarovar lake. Okay, it is known as the Sangpo. Then you learn that it then flows eastwards and enters India, flowing first through the state of Arunachal Pradesh and then to Assam before joining the river Ganga. Okay, Brahmaputra river firstly enter India through the state Arunachal Pradesh, and then it's flowing Assam, and then it's joined Ganga river and meet with Ganga in Bay of Bengal. Okay, and now here is the great fertile plain of the world extend from Punjab to Assam. Okay, see Punjab to Assam, how we can see here. See, this is our Punjab state and here is Assam. Okay, so it's extend Punjab to Assam likewise. Okay, so now see here, the great fertile plains of the world extend from Punjab to Assam. You are clear about this? Okay, now most of the rivers in the northern plains are perennial. Okay, in the northern plains most of rivers are the perennial. What is called the perennial rivers? Rivers which flow throughout the year and originate from the glaciers known as the perennial river. That is the reason that they are flowing throughout the year, because they receive water from the glacier. Slowly the melting process of glaciers are continuous. Okay, so these rivers which originate from the glaciers receives water throughout the year, and all the rivers Satluj, Brahmaputra and the Ganga originate from the glacier. Okay, Brahmaputra river originate from the Mansarovar lake. Okay, but the water of Mansarovar lakes come from the glaciers. Now most of the it's done. Now the fertile plains are thickly populated. Thickly means densely. Many peoples are living there, and reason behind that the reason behind this is the facility. Where we will get the facility, we want to live there. Okay, if we don't have any facilities on any place, we do not want to live there. Okay, so the reason is the northern plains are thickly populated because they have sufficient water for drinking, irrigation. Okay, and there are many peoples, many industries are set up in the northern plains. Okay, and it is very suitable. The soil of northern plains are very suitable for the growing crops. Okay, and etc. These are the reason for thickly populated for the densely population of the northern plains or thickly population. Okay, now the major crops, as you know that it is this area is very suitable for the agriculture. So major crops of this region are wheat, rice, sugarcane and jute. Jute mostly grow in the West Bengal, where we have the Sundarban Delta in the northern plains, which is the world largest delta. Okay, now tea is grown in West Bengal and Assam. Okay, West Bengal and Assam is the part of northern plains, and tea is grown there very well. Darjeeling is a hill station in West Bengal. It is very famous in the West Bengal. It is famous for the tea garden. Okay, so we have completed the revision of chapter number 3, the northern plains. I hope you all are able to understand the information which is given about the northern plains, and you are also able to show the location of the northern plains on the map, and all three rivers which flow there and their basins. Okay, so now we will do the exercise of this chapter in revision sheet. If you have any doubt, you can write down in your notebook. Okay, and when I will take your online lecture, then you have to ask your doubts. Okay beta, so now we will do the exercise. See, first is match the column. Northern plains will match with the, yes, the D option, thickly populated. Recently you learnt about this. Okay, so first will D, and Assam will match with the, yes, T. Assam will match with the T. It is A. And Sangpo is called Brahmaputra when it's enter in India from Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so third one is B, and Uttarakhand will match with the Haridwar. It is a Devbhumi. Okay, Haridwar is called Devbhumi also. So Uttarakhand will match with the C option. Okay, you can see clearly here. One will match with D, second will match with the A, third will match with the B, and fourth will match with the C. Okay, now here is fill in the blanks. Now dash is the most fertile and largest delta in the world. I told you many times, Sundarban Delta. Okay, and now the second is the area through which the rivers flow is called basins. Okay, now see here, dash originate from the Gangotri glacier. This is Ganga. Ganga originates from the Gangotri glacier. Okay, now Jama Masjid is the largest mosque in the world. Okay, now answer the following question. We have one question. Write the name of 3 basins of the northern plains. We have 2 questions here. See, Ganga basin. Write the name of 3 basins of the northern plains. Which are the 3 basins? Ganga basin, the Satluj basin, and the Brahmaputra basin. Okay, and see in the last, which is the second important physical division of India? This is northern plains or the Great Northern Plains. We can say the northern plains or we can say the Great Northern Plains. Okay, so we have completed all the exercise of revision sheet. Okay, so in your homework you have to complete these exercise in your revision sheet, and you have to read this chapter properly. If you have any doubts, you have to write all the doubts in a notebook, and you have to ask all your doubts in our online class on Wednesday. Okay everyone, so now take care, have a nice day, goodbye.